Yo, 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 what's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Safety Meeting. As we all know, I'm Big Pat, here with my fucking cousin, Joe. How's everybody doing today? Hey, Joe,
What's up, buddy?
Safety Meeting?
Safety meeting.
Cheers.
Cheers, brother.
So it's Tuesday, January 26th,
Taco
2021.
Tuesday.
Oh, shit, and I had tacos for dinner.
So didn't we? Chicken tacos.
Oh, very good. Um, let's see. Since the last time we had a podcast, a few days back, what kind of stuff can we try to catch the world up on? There's a lot of things, and like usual, it's hard to tell sometimes. Like we always have a tendency to say, it's hard to tell the difference between truth and bullshit. Um, but I would say a significant amount of things has happened.
Boy, Biden out here killing jobs.
You got Biden, yeah, 6 days
Killing
in, he's already
killing
killed 50,000
jobs.
jobs.
Killing jobs, spending money on vaccines.
Right?
What I seen today,
Where
it was like $200 million in new vaccines he's saying he's gonna buy.
this is a. And I look back at our previous podcast. This right now will be the first time that we've actually brought up the name Biden in a really long time.
Yeah.
Because we try not to be. We're not trying to be those political people that'll
Hold
sit
on.
here and fucking debate politics.
Don't we talk about the
But
Antichrist every week?
oh, I see what you did
Ha!
there. I
Ta-ta.
see what you did there. I see what you did there. But basically, from what I've seen, now we're on the 26th, right? And so far in the past 6 days, I've watched the media go from talking this man up as a savior to berating him on every social classification you could think of from the top to the bottom. Just like what was that guy? Oh yeah, Trump. Oh wait, what was that guy before him? Oh, that's right, Obama.
Mama.
And what about that one guy before him too? The one that was one of the most crooked. Oh, Bush.
Bush.
So the media, because that's their job, is to divide you and make you fucking think something's there that it's not, will tell you everything that you're thinking. They'll tell you everything that you want to know and everything that you've been conspiring or thinking about just to fuck with you. And if you don't believe me, there's a reason why Google is being sued right now. If you,
For censorship?
I could go, I could go into a million reasons why, but anybody who has a set of ears and a set of eyes,
Well, why don't you just go
research it
ahead?
yourself.
Why don't you go ahead and enlighten some of the people?
Okay, well, here's an example. Okay, um, so Google, as we all know, is this big corporate tech entity that is world renowned, and the fact that almost all Android users have Google as your default search engine in your phone. It just comes as part of the phone.
Yep.
So, so with that being said, uh, with the data that they collect on you, everything. Uh, okay, before I get too far ahead of myself, here's just one big example that everybody talks about, but nobody's connected all the dots to. So imagine you got one of your favorite social medias open, like a Facebook or a Twitter or Instagram, whatever. And say you have it open and you and your girlfriend or your boyfriend or whoever you're sitting in the room are having a conversation about something that you would like or something that you would like to see. And in the midst of talking about these said things, next thing you know, what pops up in your feed is exactly the thing that you were just fucking talking about. Coincidence? Nah, I don't think so. So that's my prime example. So now here's another one. So there's a uh, another uh, I'm trying to think, another platform out there. It's called Rumble, right? And Rumble is basically like YouTube. Uh, it pretty much gives you all the same kind of content that you can get off of YouTube. You can have multiple channels, you can have subscribers, you could have, you know,
Is it
all
free?
the yeah, yeah, it's absolutely free. Um,
Never heard of this thing.
oh, you never heard of it? That's because Google shuts it down. So the I was watching this news report the other night, and the CEO of Rumble, I forget his last name, but his name is Danny something. Um, he is actually in the process of a class action lawsuit against Google about data interference. And what he means by data interference is that Google is completely biased. Okay. They just want you to only use Google and Google products, which is why you have Google everything. You got Gmail, you got Maps, you got
Hold on.
YouTube.
Can you blame them though? Because at the end of the day, they are a business. Do you want now? Let's say you ran a business. Let's say you made a pizza shop, right? Do you really want the people going to the pizza shop across the street? No, you want them coming to your pizza shop.
Right. But that pizza shop isn't going to go and completely cut off any and all information about the pizza shop across the street because that's illegal. That's basically
No, I get you.
you're plagiarizing the system and you're censoring somebody else's voice or
No, I
opinion
get you.
or way they market and strategize.
But I'm just saying
But
from a pure
anyways,
business standpoint, you can't blame them.
so there's yeah. I mean, yeah. So you're basically you're trying to lowball the competition. But there's lowballing, and then there's pretty much completely erasing the competition. So the thing that the guy was saying from Rumble is, um, the way that the search engine and the platform is completely biased to only use their products. He said, in a free world where there is free speech and there are all these things that you're entitled to have, if you were to go into your local search bar, whether you have Mozilla or Yahoo, or not Yahoo, but Google, whatever, you type in your search bar, whatever it is you want to look up. Like, say you want to look up funny cat videos, okay? So you type in funny cat videos and you hit search, and immediately you'll get 100 videos all pop up. That's all from YouTube. All
You're my
these
boy,
different
Blue.
people, all these different channels, all these different compilations of funny cat videos, right? Or if it was a free world, also listed should be other videos from other sources as an alternative, right?
Yeah.
And Google, or not Google, sorry, YouTube, since they're owned by Google, has blocked all that content so that other people don't know that other platforms exist. Platforms that are pretty much parallel with the competition, offer you the same type of services and so on and so forth. So
Well,
they're
hold on.
actually being
But it's not their job to advertise the competition.
right,
Because
but in a
once you
free,
said
but in a
YouTube and Google are one and the same entity. So
right,
it's stupid to say, well, all right, yeah, I'm gonna advertise your stuff on my system just out of fairness. Like that's stupid. That's like me owning a pizza shop and you owning a pizza shop and me saying, all right, I got 10 customers. I don't got enough pizza to make the 11th one. Why don't you go across the street, man? He got you. No, it's my job to try to sell you something else. You know what I'm saying? It's my
right.
money.
Well, no, I don't have an iPhone or anything. I don't have any Apple products.
I
But
don't either.
I'm curious as if you were to go on an iPhone and type in, you know, funny cat videos and hit search, that it would also be the same result. You'd only get a feed of YouTube videos, you know? So that's the point that the gentleman, the CEO of I almost said Grinder. That's the wrong thing. Rumble, Rumble, Rumble was basically saying that
Just dark
Google
confessions.
is Google is censoring other platforms, not getting the traffic that it could be seen, and it's only really happening here in the United States.
Oh, sorry, people. I get where you're going. I understand it. Maybe it's because I'm an asshole, but I
A little
100%
bit.
say you can't blame them. It's not my job to advertise your shit to make myself lose business. Like, I don't know. I mean, but then again, at the same time, Dad'd be like, because, like, perfect example, Little Caesars. Do you know the reason why Little Caesars can charge you less for your pizza is because they also own the food distributing company that distributes their product. Now, back, and I think it was like the late 70s, early 80s, they realized that there was way more money to be made in shipping of the products than there was making pizza. So they took their already standing trucking enterprise that they use just to truck their food in between their restaurants and opened it up to where now they ship food to Papa John's, Pizza Hut, Domino's, Sbarro, you know what I mean? All of those places. They changed the name of the trunking company to its own entity, but they're also the same company as Little Caesars. You know what I mean? So it's the same thing. It's like YouTube is its own entity, but it's partnered by or sistered company to Google. So I get what you're saying. They would like really, and now that I say all of this, Google's losing money. You're being just by being stupid, because then you could say, all right, well, if I'm gonna advertise you on my stuff, then you're gonna have to pay me an advertising fee. I'm pretty sure everyone's got to do that, right?
Yeah. But the funny thing is like say we were opposed to the direction and we wanted to make a stand or boycott, right? You can't boycott anything because Google owns half of everything. Just because you may switch phone providers or maybe even phone brands doesn't mean that the information and data isn't still all owned by the same company.
Okay, then here you go. Don't own a phone.
I'd love to not own a phone, bro. I
Then
really
don't.
would.
Then get rid of it. Don't own a phone. This is for everyone out there. This device means nothing. You don't need this to survive. We did just fine in the 80s and the 90s without it. All right. We walked around the fucking streets until the street lights came off and came on, and then went home every day. All right. Some of us didn't. Now, I will say that, some of us didn't come home. Rest in peace to those that didn't. But shit, we're still having that problem fucking today in 2021. Good little kids snatched up all over the place. People out here fucking killing people. So this don't stop that. You don't need this. That's what's controlling you.
Right, but the word people are forced to believe that they do need it, which is why they'll go spend $1,200 on the newest iPhone, or
Nope.
you know what I
For
mean? They
years,
they
I would go to Walmart and buy a $30 phone. Got the
same.
same service as you do. So what? I ain't got the cool emojis and all like that you got. Like, but you know what I can do? I can call you. I can text you. Shoot, could even get on Facebook. All
Hmm.
right, I can play games. I can do all of that. So what if the
Right,
camera ain't cool? Camera ain't good. 20 years ago, when I was walking around with my buddies and I wanted to take a picture or make a video of some dumb shit we was doing, I didn't have a camera.
right.
You couldn't just carry that in your pocket.
Create memories.
All
You can
right.
create your own memories without it being captured.
My whole generation right now is sitting there looking at all of our math teachers laughing at you, saying, "Ha, you're fucking stupid," because they grew up telling us you ain't gonna grow up with a calculator in your pocket. You're gonna be out in the real world and not have a calculator. I got a calculator at all times, homie.
Hmm.
I don't even got to use an actual calculator. I can just hit the little Google button and say, "What's 2 plus 2?" And Google will tell me the answer. I don't even got to use the calculator app. I don't got to do the work.
So what I really think is happening, I think the big picture, the thing that I'm grasping the most right now about everything as of today is that there's this really, really, really big information war happening. And it's happening first and foremost here because
Yeah.
you look at other countries, other than communist China or
Ooh, who is
Mexico.
preparing for an invasion of America, people? I know a lot of people, you know what I mean, don't really watch this, which one day they will. I can feel it. All you haters out there. You see you watching. But China, I tried sharing it on Facebook today. Facebook will not let me share it, but I just because I found it on DuckDuckGo. China is preparing to invade America.
Or they they probably wouldn't invade it, especially if
Nope. That's
Sleepy Joel keeps the door open for him.
nope. Oh well, yeah, if you want to put it like that, but that was 100% what this news article was saying. It was a foreign CNN article, and they were just straight out saying that I can't pronounce the emperor's name over there. It's something with an X and an I. I don't know what the fuck it is.
Right.
But
Ziming or whatever.
yeah, they're planning to invade America. And then it went into
Like
how they've controlled the coronavirus way better than we have, this, that, and the third.
they released it.
Of course.
So of course they
With
controlled it.
with the help of our government. Because we've been working together this whole time. Because China works with Russia and North Korea. And then America with Trump and Russia were working together, which means America and China were working together. But now you got it to where Biden is cool with Chinese, so Biden and China work together. But he's trying to make it look like him and Putin are beefing because they had their phone call today, and he's all up Putin's ass. Are you going to hold straight to the treaty that we got? And you know, try and be a tough man. Like it's all just a game. Like Red Dawn, maybe Red Dawn was telling us something. I know you ain't never seen it, but maybe they were telling us something. You need to see it, man. Instead of it being just a town that they're selling off, they're gonna sell off the whole country. China. I don't know if you guys know this or not. China's been in the acquiring of land, like to the point to where they've been building their own islands in the ocean and then building houses and stuff on the island and claiming them as Chinese land. Like they're currently trying to build their way back to Japan so that they can reclaim Japan. Like
Beast in the East.
they're on a whole different level of world domination than anybody's ever seen. They never gave it up.
So what makes you think, based off an article that you read, that they would come and try to attack us or invade
because
us?
because I've been telling people this for 15 years. I've been telling people for 15 years, you better go ahead and learn Mandarin now. And the sad thing about it is I didn't take my own advice. I should have went and learned Chinese. I know it. But all right. You look at the influx of things. There's way more Chinese students here in America. Like the influx of Asians is become huge and just accepted. No one really says nothing about it. These guys come here, gain fucking free educations because they're foreign students and got the whole Dreamers Initiative. So and then they go to other countries or back home and use their degree that they got for free, right? So this whole time America has been teaching and pretty much supplying their own downfall because you're getting these kids and you're getting them ready for whatever biochemist fucking bullshit whatever degree. I don't know. I'm not a college guy. I'm not a college student. I don't know degrees. But and then they're going back to their own country and using that knowledge against us. I'm not saying that they're personally saying, "Ah, fuck America, I'm gonna do this against America," but I mean, in China, do you really got to say? Isn't it him that's the only one that's got to say? It's, I mean, that's kind of how dictatorships work.
Isn't that how communism works?
Yeah, like, so I don't know, man. Like, I just 100% believe that China's always been that superpower that you need to fear. Because you look at them all throughout history, even ancient history and everything, they've always been concerned with one thing and one thing only: world domination. That's it. They want to control the world.
I mean, they own so many national state parks. You know,
And for years and decades now, we've just been outsourcing everything to China.
like
Like we
here's a weird thing, right? I don't want to cut you off, right? But so when I was working out in Batavia, New York, um, I stayed when I was working. I'd stay, I was out there for long periods of time. I stayed in a hotel, and every day, every morning, there was a special breakfast buffet in the morning that everybody normally gets. The full hotel spread, and then on the other side of the room was a whole different breakfast spread, and everything was labeled in Chinese, right? Like from the directions to the ingredients on the table. There was fucking different signs walking through because there was literally buses full of Asians, or excuse me, that sounds racist. I'm not trying to sound be, but Chinese people, Chinese, um, that were going up to Niagara Falls, and it just happened to be that they stayed at that hotel in Batavia, New York, on their way to Niagara Falls, which would be the next stop at like 45 minutes away. And I always just thought it was kind of weird for this random hotel, you know, in Batavia, New York, right off of the thruway, would have so many Chinese people,
What if it's
you
a
know?
sleeper cell spot?
Now, I'm not saying this neither here nor there. I just
Why not? I will. I'll
like
go ahead and say it.
like you like you can go to certain parts of the United States, right? Like
Spies are
like
real.
there are certain parts in certain cities or certain states where you see more and more presence of immigrants than you would have ever seen in,
Hmm.
like, say where I live up in the middle of nowhere. You know what I mean? Like we don't see where I live
How
what
is
the
it
rest of
that
the world sees on a
how is
cultural level.
how is it that like 80% of corner stores are owned by Muslim people? No, I got no problem with anybody. I'm just wondering. It's always something I've wondered, since I moved to the city. Because out in the country where I grew up, we didn't have corner stores. We had gas stations, and then the people working at the gas stations were literally local rural people.
Right?
Like,
Regular Joe Schmoes.
like even back home. Like, but even now, though, a lot of those places are run by Muslim people. Like, what? Why? And then no matter how big or how small the town is, there's always a Chinese restaurant.
I mean, yeah, there's
Like I'm a weird
I
type of
don't know.
person. I think little things like that, those are what your sleeper cells are. The little things that just go by that no one's really gonna notice. No one's gonna think nothing of it. Oh, those guys ain't no special agents. They're just back there cooking. Da 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 da. It ain't them you gotta worry about who's in the basement. Cause yo, I grew up, my dad was a heating and air conditioning guy, and refrigeration units. So we've gone into some Chinese places to fix things, and I'm gonna tell you right now, they don't let you go in certain parts of their store.
No, don't
Eh,
get me wrong.
which is weird when you're going into a place to fix it. You know what I'm saying? Like I can understand you don't want the person walking around your inventory and shit like that. I get that. But if the person's got to get through an area to get to your heater and shit like that, you shouldn't have to have someone follow you. Like I've had situations like that going to some of these Chinese restaurants. That's why I feel like that. At a young, I was like, you know what I mean, 12, 13, it just gave me a weird feeling like, why you guys got to follow us back here though? Like, what are we going to see that's back here that you don't want us to see? Why is it just go in there and don't leave? And, you know, you just stay there. You do you. It's in there type deal.
I experienced that years ago. I used to do pest control down in Central Florida, and it was a commercial, so I had a lot of commercial stops, like big restaurants, little restaurants, you know,
Right.
all over the spectrum. And now, okay, just for clarification, real quick, right? We're not trying to sound like we're hating on a specific group of people, or we're not trying to come off as being racist.
Nope.
Listen, we know that we live in America, and this is a country built on immigrants.
Hold on. Not even that. If you live in another country, best bet there is an American sleeper cell somewhere. Just like there's a Russian sleeper cell and a Chinese sleeper cell. However far you want to go down that line. It only makes sense. You got to keep your enemies close. You know,
It's just, you know, maybe I don't know. Maybe the point that I was trying to make is maybe, you know, just maybe we left the door open for too long. And when former President Trump wanted to close the door, everybody had a problem with it.
it's a touchy subject because I'm 100% against how this country was formed.
Right.
And the
I
way
mean,
that
there's a
is,
lot of-
the way it works now. Like, because to be honest with you, like, granted, because I'm mixed, if the country wasn't formed the way it is, I wouldn't be here. You know what I'm saying? Not in this form that you see. My soul and my energy would still be here, but this would not. So there has that to be said about that. But the way it was just cooking, that's not cool. Like, and then
Right.
and then the fact that we teach our children that was just graciously given away. You know, but yeah, we'll move out west for you, and then when you guys move us, then when you guys want to move out west, we'll say, oh, that's fine. We'll move somewhere else, I guess. And then when we say, well, we got nowhere to go, we want something back. You weren't supposed to come this far. Now we're being greedy and Indian givers. Like, it's just a fucked up system. Like, the way it happened was fucked up.
Right.
Like,
The
like,
natives.
there could have
The
been
natives are here to
100%.
protect and preserve.
Exactly. There could have been a better way for you to assimilate into our culture. Because to be honest with you, you got proof of it now, man. Like up in Nova Scotia and all them Indians, like they got proof of them meeting up with the Knights Templar, with people being in America before you have Christopher Columbus coming to America. All right. So Asian people, white people, they've been coming here for years. Thousands and thousands and thousands of years. So there was a different way you could have assimilated yourself into our culture. You didn't have to tear it apart. We literally had a culture. We didn't have no jails. All right. Because there was no need for a man to rob you. Because if you needed a blanket, you needed a place to stay, you needed something to eat, you needed a horse, we would give you those things. We are a tribe, we are a family, we live as one entity. I don't know. That's a touchy subject. You fucked up you fucked up a great system for a broken system.
Right.
You know, we could have assimilated together and grew this country into something beautiful together. But instead you just said nope. And now to this day you're still trying to erase us. Do you know how many in Native American communities that you have, you know, mysterious indigenous women, you know, just go missing, murdered. Nothing happens. They don't even care about, especially up in Canada, bro. There's a whole count. There's a whole. I forget. I think it's like in either Alberta or Ottawa, but like up to the fact that there's like 30 some odd women per year, Native women that go missing every year from this community, and it's been going on for like this since like the 70s.
right?
Like
That's a problem.
even back
But
home in
it's
my own home,
everybody nowadays, though.
even back home in my own county, like it's just horrible. Like they're just like yeah, it's everywhere. Like now and like I hope this doesn't come out wrong. Now everyone's feeling it. Now everyone's feeling how it feels to know that they want you dead. They don't want you here. This is population control. This is their land, not our land. There's too many of us for them to live comfortably. We have to go. The kings and the emperors, all that shit didn't die out. It just got changed titles. We don't see who they are anymore. We don't put them in our money. They don't come on our TV. I feel like I'm going on a rant.
I'm dude. I feel everything you're saying, bro. 100%.
Like, I don't know,
And
man.
I
It's
could tell
just,
you feel. I could tell you do feel deeply about it. As much as any other Native American living anywhere in the world that has felt displaced because that's the world forced upon them. You know, like I get it.
yeah,
I
we're
feel
just
you.
supposed to blindly accept it.
Yeah, and it happens everywhere. And the only difference is now everybody's aware that it's happening. We're just like you said. We're
Like,
before nobody ever knew. You know, there's a
even to
huge
the,
problem with trafficking in this world. There's a huge problem. It's not just here, it's everywhere. People are keep stealing
yeah,
everybody, women,
fuck yeah.
children, selling them. And there's no reason. Like I don't understand other than for evil things, for prostitution. So, if this is happening on a worldwide scale, how come we're not talking about that?
Now, here's another thing that it could also be for this why there's so much human trafficking. What if they're out there doing all these secret experiments? You need bodies for it. You need people. Best way to do it is to have all of this trafficking going on. You can hide within the chaos. You can hide right in plain sight.
Like
Shit.
Wayfair.
Yeah. Like shit. I bet you there's probably at least one company out there that promotes itself and actively tries to stop trafficking of people that is actually trafficking people. Because the best place to hide
There's
is
a,
right in the wide open.
there's a lot of questions, Joe. A lot of questions, and nobody seems to want to give the fucking answers.
Because that shit scares them and they say, well, I don't want to talk about that. Well, someone's got to fucking talk about it. Are we really
That's
just going to
reality.
sit by and let them fucking kill us off and do whatever they want?
Whoever they are,
Exactly.
because nobody can put a fingerprint on who they are. They
No,
just
but you
know
know
that
what?
they are they.
But you know what? They got so much dirt, so much money, so much power because there can't be that many of them. That's why you got to hide yourself so much because you know the pure numbers is going to have you eliminated so fast. That's the only
So
reason why
basically,
that's the only reason why you would be the man behind the mirror or the man behind the
what
curtain.
if the, what if everything happens because everybody in the world is in agreement, but don't say it out loud, but everybody in the world is in agreement that there's something completely just okay, let's say the Ark of the Covenant, okay?
Okay, what about it?
So what if it's a worldwide commitment to use unlimited resources from every point across the world to pinpoint and find this thing It's like the ultimate goal. It's the holy grail. It's achieving the unachievable and having this potential of unlimited power.
What about if the fact that the Ark and Covenant's not supposed to be found? It's already served its purpose.
Or what if it's just a myth? The biggest, like the goose laying the golden egg that history has ever told over multiple generations.
I don't think it's necessarily a myth as much as it's been misinterpreted. Like, I think the box is it's just a really good blanket. Get what I'm saying? It's a really good cover. It doesn't, but it's not showing you what it actually is. What's
Is it the
inside?
Tesseract?
It's what's inside of it that is the true power. You get what I'm saying? Like, there had to have been something that these ancients created.
Aliens.
Well, me and you, I believe 100% that at one point in time, the gods walked the earth. So maybe it was just an invention of the gods. Maybe that's why it's hidden away because it's not for us to use. Maybe that's why David was able to beat Goliath because David himself was a god. It was just God smiting down the last of the Nephilim.
Right. You never know. Like the Tesseract, how in the Avengers movies they refer to us as this ultimate source of power. The only thing that can hold it was Loki's staff, because it was forged from dwarf star material, dwarf star metal, which was not of this planet, so it was strong enough to withstand the power. You know, it's not the first time I've heard that reference of a dwarf star metal. I've heard it in different sci-fi stories, at different points throughout my life.
Right.
Maybe that's a real thing. Maybe it's a metal, a mineral, or some sort of sedimentary deposit that has an ability to produce energy. You know, like, but what if this whole time they just played the whole world and put it out there as like a test of morale or a test of humanity? If you knew there was this thing that had all the power of the universe inside of it, or potentially, would you, if given the direction to go find it, or keep that secret with you for the rest of your life?
How do you account for the walls of Babylon falling? Or do you think that's just a reference or a metaphor for the collapse of the community?
Maybe it wasn't an actual physical collapse, it was the collapse of a civilization.
A moral collapse. So, in a sense,
Or maybe it just is there, and there is something somewhere on this planet that exists that has unpotential, or unlimited power. And if it's so, then it must not be from this world.
I mean, I think it's a physical thing. Because what if not? Then what did King Solomon have in his temple that he found to be so precious that before he was invaded and killed, he had the Knights Templar take everything from his temple and stash it somewhere. And then they went on a pilgrimage from there to like France and Ireland, Norway, to Canada, to America, all the way down the Caribbean, dropping shit off. They spread that shit all across the world. Right? Now, if you were going to hide something of great importance, and everyone believes that if you go over here, you're going to fall off the edge of the earth and die, so no one goes, what's the safest place to hide it? on the edge of the earth. I'm gonna hide it where no one's gonna go, where no one's gonna find it. I'm gonna go hide it over there. No one's gonna find it. They're never gonna search for it. These indigenous people have no need for it. So
So the Ark is in Atlantis, in
which is
Antarctica.
yeah, I was about to say which is Antarctica, which has a lake saltier than the Dead Sea that never freezes. Which I
If
think
any,
that's
if anybody here is interested in the conversation, I mean, I'm interested. This is a pretty good one. Appreciate it if you go ahead and hit that like button and hit that little notification bell. We appreciate you and we love you.
that's right. Share this with your friends.
Share this with your friends and share this with your friends' friends. Even if you want to make fun of us, we don't really care.
Exactly.
The purpose of this is just to inform you that it's okay to think independently. You don't have to take sides on anything in life. You can forge your own path and still be able to think based off of the facts. And the facts are there's a lot of unexplainable things out there. A lot of
Whatever.
stuff you're not supposed to understand. And if you take the time to try to understand it, eventually you will.
I think some of us are meant to think about it though. Some of us are meant to be great thinkers. I don't think we're supposed to understand any of it. I think that's what happens when we die. Ultimate clarity.
You got your thinkers, you got your doers, you got your messengers, you got your.
But see, are the doers really doers, or are they just people that's doing shit to occupy their minds off of thinking about what they need to be thinking about?
Yeah, but the doers are the doers. They put into action the things that the thinkers think about.
Not all the time. Some of these doers are just doers, just do. There are people that just do shit just to do it.
I call those go-getters. you know that Joe is a real go-getter. Yes, he's so chummy all the time. I say,
Nah,
good
I
morning,
see.
Joe. He says, fuck you. I'm like, oh, okay. Good morning.
Yes, yeah. See, to me, I hate that. If it is 5 to 7 o'clock in the morning and you are chipper with anybody, you should just fucking go somewhere with yourself, man. Like, I'm not gonna say what I really want to say because I don't want to get in trouble with Pat because he yells at me. But you
It's
are
basically like, go
special.
fuck yourself.
Yeah, go fuck yourself on that one. But in worse terms, because I want to say worse than that. Because it's just, bro, first off, you do not want to be awake unless you've been awake all night. At 5 o'clock in the morning, you don't want to be awake. No, 6 o'clock in the morning, you still don't want to be awake. 7 o'clock in the morning, I'm pissed off still that I had to wake up 2 hours ago to be here. All right, 7:30, I'm a little bit better. But don't be chipper. All right, I'm not saying be a dick. Don't be in there, fuck you, asshole. Like, no one wants that either. But don't just be, how was your morning? Are you doing okay today? Yeah, how are the wife and kids? Yeah, you're buying cigarettes. You really should quit smoking. Like, don't be that person.
Right. Yeah, I hear you there. Sometimes I am that person though. Like, I'm that guy that says good morning to everybody as I'm walking through and they're all staring at me.
Yeah, we're all like, go fuck yourself, man. Don't, no, it's not a good morning.
It's just what I do.
I mean, unless you wake up in the morning and you get you something, then it is a good morning. But even then, you ain't got to rub that in people's face, man.
Facts. It's
Shit.
none of my business what you're doing.
Exactly. Don't be all in there smiling because you got you something like, hey, how you doing? Good morning.
Right.
Like,
How you think your old lady would know if you're talking about her this way?
huh?
Right? Like if somebody, like you're going to work and somebody's talking about, oh man, I was doing this or that with my old lady this morning, or it's like, dude, right?
Uh,
Like like, let's just be real. How do you think she would feel to know that you're talking about her in such a way? It's all for show. You're only just saying shit like that because it's your friends, and you feel
Well,
comfortable enough in the fact that they're not going to pass judgment. But guess what? We still pass judgment because I don't talk
yo,
about my old lady like that.
I
I
remember once.
respect her too much to talk about what we do behind our closed doors. You know what I mean? That's our business.
I remember once I was at this job, man, and these two, oh man, these two young guys were sitting there talking, and they're sitting there talking about how how they like to smash their old lady from the back, and the one sitting there, he's like, yeah, he's like, I get her, man, I get all the way up, and then I put my one foot on her face, and I just take her other foot and lift it up as I'm hitting her from the back, man. She loves that. I'm sitting there like, what kind of dumbass shit you be doing, man? No, she don't want your foot in her fucking face. You stop fucking lying to him, man. Do not do that to your old lady when you go home. She's gonna kill you.
Mm-hmm.
I think he tried it when he went home too, because I ain't never see him after
Yeah, just because you saw it in a video doesn't mean that shit happens in real life.
that. Right? She got paid thousands of dollars for that. Do you have a couple
Mm-hmm.
thousand to give her?
Mm-hmm.
Because if you do, she might be down for it. And if she is, she's for the streets.
Mm-hmm. She got a name, another name that you don't know about.
Yep.
Yep. Fuck.
What? You're stoned, aren't you?
It got me. It was a good one.
It always happens, people. Always
Yeah.
happens.
Every time. That's what happens at a safety meeting.
Hey, Pat.
So
How about them Chiefs, baby? How about them Chiefs?
never heard of her.
No, no, never heard of her. Never heard of her. Pretty sure you were on here talking about how it was going to be an easy game. Chiefs weren't going to be able to do nothing. All right.
Okay. All right. So what are you going to be, Stephen A on this one, and I'm going to be the other guy? What are we doing here? Because no.
Because I'm just saying.
Hey, hats off to the Chiefs. They played a hell of a game.
Nah, don't give me that bullshit. Because last week you were not bumping that shit. Last week it was going to be the easiest game in the world. They've been struggling against everybody, and they beat y'all by double points. Double digits.
And that's why I'm giving my hats off to them. It was impressive. And as much as it was painful to watch, it was impressive to watch.
Or did you see the same thing that I did? Josh Allen just ain't the person you thought he was.
Man, that's not it.
Hey,
all I gotta say is the people, myself. I'll just speak on behalf of myself. I'm happy. I was happy to cheer and get something positive out of my team all year. They did something real special this year, and next year they're going to come back twice as hard. So, Bills Mafia for life. That's all I'm going to say about that. I say good luck, Chiefs, and I hope you kick Tom Brady's ass because fuck Tom Brady.
I would actually like to say statistically, the team that normally loses in this scenario normally doesn't even make it back to the playoffs. But I mean, there always is, the off chance that you do, like, the Titans did this year. But they didn't do very well.
I don't know. I believe.
Next year's the Jets year, man. Actually, you know what, man? They've been talking about the Jets trading for Deshaun Watson. He's got a no trade clause, so he gets to choose where he goes. And he's already said he wants to go play for the Jets. Well, he just said New York.
Right. I don't know. I don't know. I think I think
I think Washington should try to trade for Aaron Rodgers.
it would be a
Seeing how
bold move.
as I mean, he's uncertain where he wants to be if he's going to be back next year. They're trying to say he wants a new contract, which he deserves a new contract based off
I
of what
mean,
everybody
yeah,
else gets paid.
put
If
up
you're gonna
MVP numbers this year.
puts up MVP numbers almost every year. It's Aaron fucking Rodgers. And you're gonna be paying fucking everybody. He's gonna be getting paid the same amount as what they say. Oh fuck, it was some scrub, bro. I can't remember his name right now, but he was not a very good quarterback.
Did you say a scrub?
Yeah, he was a scrub. Like TLC, ain't no time for no scrub.
What? What? I never heard that one.
Shit. But
I would say, believe it or not, I could see Deshaun Watson end up going to Atlanta because Matt Ryan, I think, is good
so
that you're not going to see. You're going to see the finito of Matt
well, no,
Ryan. I think you'll see
they've
Matt
already
Ryan go somewhere.
they've already said they're gonna. They already said they want to trade Matt Ryan and Julio because they're getting a new coach, new GM. They're just starting over. So you're saying they say, all right, instead of drafting a quarterback, we're going to go ahead. We're going to trade for Deshaun Watson. We'll give you our first round this year. We'll give you our first round next year. And we'll give you Matt Ryan. Probably have to still give you a mid-round draft pick for because they're saying they want at least, I mean, Deshaun Watson can go for at least 3 first rounders. So you say,
Could you imagine seeing Matt Ryan in a Texans uniform? It'd be as weird as seeing Tom Brady in a Bucks uniform. I watched it all season long, and it's still weird to watch.
my opinion, I don't think he's going to Atlanta. He doesn't want to go to Atlanta. He has a no trade clause in his contract, so they can't trade him if he says, "No, I don't want to go there." And he's legitimately, for some reason, he wants to go to the Jets or it was another sorry ass team,
Uh,
the Dolphins.
Giants,
No, the Dolphins. He wants to go to the Jets or the Dolphins.
they got too much money invested right now in Miami. Between Fitzmagic and Tua, they pay a lot of money for those two.
Magic is Ryan Fitzpatrick's on his last year of this deal. He's a free agent this year. He's
He's
no
going
longer.
to Washington.
That sounds like a Washington move too.
He's going to Washington. You'll have that Fitzmagic you've always wanted.
No, I'm good. I
Hey
am
man,
good.
he brought some spark when he hung out in Buffalo for a couple years. He had some spark. He gave us some life.
If we were talking 10 years ago, hell yeah, I would have been down with it because then you could have built around Ryan Fitzpatrick. But now, no. Dude be 40 next year, man. Like, it's just, I don't think there's going to be no Fitz magic left next year.
Nah, man, it never goes away.
No, it goes away. Did you see Favre his last season? It went away as soon as he threw that interception to the Saints. It went away. There was no more Favre magic. But listen, I don't think Aaron Rodgers is going to be a Packer next year, man. I think they're going to trade him. That's why they drafted that boy in the first round because you made it very clear. You know what I mean? Which, he has a 4-year contract right now with average quarterback money. Makes sense. Trade him. You got good core people around him. You cut a lot of money off your own salary cap if you get rid of them, which means you can pay Devontae Adams more money. You can pay Aaron Jones.
Here it is. Here's my prediction. If Aaron Rodgers leaves the Packers and goes to a different organization, he goes to San Francisco. Yep. Dude, that's crazy.
See, I don't think he will. I think he still hold because I
He's
think he
from
holds.
Cal though.
Yeah, but he's mad. He thought he was going number one, and then San Fran took Alex Smith, and he sat there and stewed for that whole time, camera on him. I don't think he'll ever play for San Francisco. From what I
Maybe,
heard, from what I
but that's
heard,
my pick.
when he goes up against Alex Smith or San Francisco, it's a different Aaron Rodgers. Should have brought that Aaron Rodgers against fucking Tom Brady. Can't say that I didn't watch the game. I don't know really know how it folded out.
No, Tampa just outplayed Green Bay on all phases. I don't know how, but they did. Their defense, their linebacker core, their fucking secondary. They're not special, but they really work well as a team. Really
I,
well. They got
they're
some really
no,
good guys on the
their
edge.
their
They got
linebacking core,
fucking Ndamukong Suh in the middle. I mean, come
their
on.
their linebacking core is special. Devin White, Levante David, and Shaq Barrett. Yeah, those are all fucking all-star players.
You got JPP on the edge. I mean,
Him and
they're
his
pretty
no,
solid.
he's only got one hand.
He still plays lights out with one hand. I mean, you got to give credit where it's due.
But yo, you know there actually is.
Everybody thought he was washed up, and here he is.
You know there actually is a guy in the NFL with one hand, right? He played at the University of South Florida or Central Florida, played at UCF.
Hmm.
His name is Shaquille Griffin. Plays for Seattle Seahawks. His brother's a cornerback. He's a linebacker that ran like a 4.3 or some shit like that. He ran the fastest time ever from a linebacker. He's really fast. I don't think he's done very much. He's only got one hand.
Whatever happened to Manti Te'o?
Everyone found out that he had a fake girlfriend, and he just kind of fell off the face of the earth. Last I seen, he was playing with the Saints.
It's a name I feel like I haven't heard in a long time.
Yeah, since you found out he had a fake girlfriend. He got
That's
drafted by the
something to do with it.
he got drafted by the Chargers. Never really did too much. Like I don't know. He's just never really been that much of a NFL prospect.
He dominated his position at Notre Dame, though.
And he found out he had a fake girlfriend. They lost the national championship. He was never the same.
Right? Because what people do in their personal life is far more important than their effectiveness in the game of football. People are stupid.
Not really.
They are. No, they are, Joe. People are stupid.
No, that's not what I was saying. Not really, too. If you're a football player, it's far more important what you do on the field as opposed to what you do in your personal life.
Right, but in that instance, it was the other way around.
I mean, I just think it's funny that everybody, shit on him for having a fake girlfriend. This was something everybody did when they were in middle school.
I don't recall. I never had a fake girlfriend before.
I mean, me neither. I just thought it sounded funny for the fucking podcast. All right. God damn it, Patrick.
I'm just saying. I mean, there's a couple of bad choices in life. I wish it could have been a fake one, but that's neither here nor there. Huh. Do you have any good jokes?
Do I have any good jokes?
Have you heard any?
Oh, listen, let me tell you a little secret about myself. I spend all day,
You don't
every day.
laugh?
No, that's not it. I laugh all the time. I spend all day with a 5 and a 4-year-old and a 1-year-old, an 11-year-old. So I don't hear too many good jokes.
Hmm. I know a lot of them. I'm just trying to think of ones that are semi-clean. It's really tough. There's no jokes anymore. Everything's just a meme
Why'd
or
the
a
chicken
GIF
cross the road?
to get to the other side.
Yeah, okay, all right. I was just wondering if you know. That's the only acceptable answer. Anything else, you're just fucking a moron. Why'd the chicken cross the road? Who's on second base?
What? Who?
Exactly.
You think I don't know that one? Come on, man. That's in Cooperstown. They got a statue of that scene. It was one of the most famous non baseball related, non-baseball, most,
I
you
mean,
know, Abbott and Costello. It's not Abbott and Costello. Yeah, I don't know.
what is the wettest thing in the world? Your mom. See, it works every time, people. Your mom jokes, they're stupid, they're corny, but they work every time. They get a chuckle.
Yeah, I heard a weird one about. It was an Irish joke. Didn't make any sense though. See, I think sometimes the things that we don't make in sense that don't make sense to us, we just immediately misinterpret it and call it stupid because we don't understand it.
Yep.
And I think that applies to a lot of things in life, from something simple to a joke or for something serious, as far as, for example, the fate of the world. So,
Oh, people have been calling me stupid for that reason for years, man. Because they don't understand how I see the world, so I'm stupid.
so I guess maybe instead of just not being open to suggestion and just making that dictation that something's stupid because you immediately don't understand it, maybe that's the problem with the world, is on top of many things, but just because something is not the same and the idea isn't the same or the content or whatever is not the same doesn't mean it's wrong. Objectives are important and differences are important, because as much as it would be great for all of us to be on the same page, it would be terrible if we all had the same mindset.
So I went down a little hole earlier, non-sexually. Um,
Hey, hit that like button.
and I can't pronounce it correctly, people, so I'm not going to pronounce it, but I think you should look this up for yourself. Um, and I wanted to know, what is the oldest monotheistic religion? And it is Zoroastrianism. Best I got pronounce it. All right, right? Like it was made, it started in early, like late mid to like 600 BCE or whatever you call it nowadays.
Zoroastrianism.
Yeah, Zoroastrianism. But I don't know too much about it. But then I went on the whole rabbit hole of, well, what is the good links between that and our modern day Christianity? And lo and behold, don't you know, there is some links. They both believe in, obviously they believe in one God, and then they believe in the concept of good and evil, the fight of good and evil. They believe in the concept of heaven and hell. That if you live a good life, your soul, your entity, upon judgment, will either gain access to heaven or hell, where heaven you live in peace and prosperity, and in hell you live in torment until the ultimate judgment day. And that is when their Messiah is born. All right, because their Messiah, their Jesus, has not been born yet. He gets born on Judgment Day and resurrects every soul that has ever lived and not lived so that everyone can be judged. All right. And then down to like, you're going to have to Google a lot of it yourself, I think, in my opinion, just to see if you see what I see. But
What about the fact that both ideals have one big important part of it saying that both of these ideas of their Jesus or their whatever their Messiah were
yep,
both born of Virgin Mother?
yep, yep. That was another part.
I
There
thought
was
that was pretty interesting. Like it was pretty precise, actually.
so, and then it got me thinking. Well, there's also already a lot of interconnections between Christianity and Judaism. All right, because one just feeds off of another. Well, since this Zoroastrianism is older than Judaism, let's just make the assumption that Judaism borrowed a little bit of its traditions off of that, and then Christianity borrowed some of its religions off of both,
Pagan.
creating its own. Yeah, and paganism. Because with Christianity and Catholicism, now you have the Holy Trinity, to where it's not just one entity that's ruling all. You have the Father, the Son, and the Spirit. Or in some Catholicism, you got the Father, the Mother, and the Son. Which the Spirit, by the way, in Christianity is taking form of the female essence. So it's all talking about the same thing.
Right.
Like it's all
It's
just kind of
interesting.
rooted. Yeah, it's all just kind of rooted back to each other. That's what I've been on a kick lately. Just finding the connections of everything. What is this one got in common with this one? Because in my opinion, all religion, all of that, it's either the devil's greatest work because it just does nothing but divide people, or it's literally the history of man just from different perspectives.
Right.
What if
Witness accounts.
what if all of these monotheistic religions are really just the multiple gods of Egypt and the Netherlands and Rome, Greek, you know, and they're just different people's accounts of it. You know what I'm saying? Like this was the God for that period around these people. And maybe
Their
nowadays,
interpretation.
yeah, and their interpretation of this person, of this God, you know? And what if we're just nowadays too blind to fucking see these people for what they are? Because I believe when God comes to you and he comes to you to ask you for something or comes to tell you something, he comes to you as a beggar. He comes to you as someone that you would deem and look down on and just say, nah, I'm not going to help you out.
Could be.
I mean, that's why, God's message is received by everybody by different forms. Maybe,
Facts.
maybe monotheism is the work of the devil to divide people, because ultimately that's his ultimate goal. His ultimate goal is to have everyone worship him, to be the only entity that exists. All right, to be the one all power. Well, if I get everybody to believe that, so when it comes time to picking sides, I'm gonna have the bigger army. That's what he's working. That's what he's working for. So it just makes sense, because it says right in the great book, he comes to you as a man and God. Well,
Well,
if
they'll
I
have all those
if
people saying that can't be. Well, that can't be. You're gonna get that. You're gonna have people go, oh,
That's all right.
Well,
Just because I see it this way doesn't mean you have to, but you doesn't mean without you taking the chance to just open your eyes and look at it for what it might be. What harm does it do you to go around the rabbit hole and just think, what if he is right? What if it is all just a shell game and we're all just blindly leading into something that we don't know about? Because I can be 100% wrong. I mean, I know something that exists. I know that there is a greater power than us. I don't know what it is. I necessarily don't know what to believe. There's so many different things, and they all believe that they're the only one that's right. Well, if you all only believe that you're right, then you're all wrong. It's just like a football team. If you believe that you got multiple quarterbacks, you ain't got a quarterback. If you got multiple monotheistic religions that believe in different gods, none of them have a god.
or just gods. That's the ultimate. That's the ultimate like cover up. The maybe the ideal that there is
Well,
more than one God. There's
why wouldn't
multiple
there be?
gods,
Why wouldn't there be? Why would there only be one? There's multiple universes.
right? When all these different, all these
So,
different cultures have all these different thoughts about the gods, because there has to be more than. It's just if you think about it as a single entity. I know I think I said this before, but just one single almighty creator literally managing and micromanaging everything in the world would be overwhelming for one person, one source, one, you know what I mean, entity in
mhm.
its own. So you'd have to find your best people and make them a part of you and create equals of your own to go and help, as
so
long as the message remains the same.
so what if at one point in time in history, all gods lived as man, right? Not as if they live like me and you live, but they had a man body, they lived as a man, but they couldn't die, right? And then they found a way to start creating other things. Essentially just, I've always believed God's nothing more than a big ass scientist. Like Isaac Newton even kind of believed this himself. He tried to decode. He supposedly decoded the Bible. He thought it was just a big mathematical riddle that everything had a certain time and date, and that you had to break the code in order to understand it. Like you can YouTube it, you can Google it. He legitimately worked on this in secret his whole life. They found all of his workings after he passed away. And according to him, the world will end, and Armageddon and Judgment Day will come upon us in the year 2060.
So let me ask you this. Now imagine being a person who is regular, honest, blue collar, hardworking people, always paid their dues, always lived life with good moral value. What if they were to stumble upon, let's say, our conversation this evening, right? And they were to listen to us. How do you think, what, let me rephrase that, not how do you think, but what do you think would be something that, like, say, we could do to bridge that gap, to force, not force, because you never want to force anything, but make it so where it can be as suggestive as the content that pours inside of you every day, to just think for yourselves. What could be that bridge other than technology? Because technology has been forced to be that bridge for a lot of amends. Uh,
In my honest
but
opinion,
communication. Yeah. I don't
I think that
or-
bridge is hidden away in places like the Vatican. I believe that there's things out there that is that bridge that shows you there's other ways. Or, and there's also other natural ways. All right. Like you have people that take DMT and they say that they feel as if they've encountered another entity. A lot of people say it's aliens. Well, what if it's not aliens? Maybe that's the way you talk to God. All right. So let's take Moses and when he made the Ten Commandments, he seen a burning bush. This bush in the area that he would have been an acacia tree because of the depictions of the bush was the same depictions of an acacia tree. What's an acacia tree? It's a tree that contains one of the highest amounts of DMT known on the earth. So he lights this tree on fire, smokes it, and then has his epiphany. Hence talking to the burning bush. All right. Maybe sometimes you just got to take the words for what they are and not take them as an interpretation. He literally burned the bush, people. Just like me and him just got finished burning the bush.
Facts.
Like, so what if that is what they're hiding? What if that is the key? Because our whole entire lives, we've always been taught that these things are bad for you, that they're going to kill you, that they're going to ruin your life. Like, our lives aren't ruined. Um, I, I'm be honest with you, man. I've took mushrooms a couple times in my life, and I've never felt better the day afterwards while taking them. Never had one of those, oh, I'm gonna go kill everybody moments. You know what I feel? I love you. It's normally what I feel. I like your company. You guys are awesome. Like, man, that shit looks so fake right now. Like, why do we even use plastic? That's the type of
It's
shit that
next
goes
level
on in
shit.
my, yeah. Like, granted, that I did end up seeing, an Indian head pop out, but maybe that was just my ancestors' way of speaking to me that night. But since I've always learned my whole life that that's just me tripping out, that I blocked it out and I didn't let their message be received. Like, we clearly have lost something from what our ancestors knew. They have we have lost so much knowledge
There's
that
a
we'll
void.
never will be able to require again. Like, they could do things that we can't replicate, that we can't figure out how they did it. We've talked about them on this show before.
Right.
Like, maybe a lot of this has to do, like, here's a point of fact. Been trying to get Pat to look into Dr. Sebi. Don't know if anybody knows about him out there, but if you do, thumbs up to you. But I believe 100% that he was killed off for a purpose, just like him and all these other holistic doctors, as they call them, people that who's her herbs and shit like that from the earth to heal people. They're
Healers.
healers, as you call them.
Modern
I,
day medicine
I
men.
didn't want to say healers because a lot of people, when you say healers, they see the guy that prays over you, throws holy water on you, and summons demons out of people. I didn't want you to think that because that's not what these people do. All right, there's simple things in our everyday life that if you brew these things together, they will fucking literally heal you from shit. Like, now they started killing these people off to the fact where there's probably been what 60, maybe 80, 100, like 60 to 80 of them dead, all in a short time span. Most of them underneath suspicious circumstances. Some of them completely healthy and then dropping dead the next week. Shit like that. But Dr. Sebi was another one like that, man. This man back in the 80s cured AIDS, cured cancer, cured blindness, cured herpes, pretty much every disease that you can think of. This man had found a way to cure. Well, the New York State Supreme Court said, well, you're falsely advertising yourself as a doctor because A, you've never been trained as a doctor. And there's no way that you've cured any of these things because we can't cure them. So when he goes to court, he tells the judge, I've cured him. I got all the paperwork and everything. The judge looked at him and said, listen, if you can bring one person in this courthouse that can claim, you know, follow up your claim, I'll go through with this. He was able to bring up 70 people that have documented proof that before they seen Sebi, they had AIDS. And that after they went through his treatment, they no longer had AIDS. People that he had cured of blindness, lupus, herpes, all of this went to this. All right. He won his court case. He was
Why would
able
you
to
want to
keep on
contain somebody like that?
because we were about to expose the world to something that only them can heal us of. These vaccines can't heal you. They are, and they know it. That's why the vaccine causes super strand. That's why it made the virus worse. They think it's going to contain it. Maybe for some people in their genetics, it might. But even the Bible tells you, man, at the end of days, people become more dependent on drugs than anything else. Drugs just become accepted by everybody. Your Tylenol, your Advil, your fucking Motrin, it's just as much as a drug as crack,
There's a pill for it.
coke, anything. Marijuana, mushrooms, ginger, onions, sea moss, a lot of, burdock root, a lot of these little things that a lot of people don't think of, they heal you. They don't want people to be healed. Like even to the point to where in Zimbabwe right now, in Africa, they're trying to tell their people, don't go to the holistic doctors for COVID. It's going to make you worse. Don't do it. Don't do it. These people, like in the news report that I read earlier, straight even said they haven't really had really bad outbreak like that. Like they've pretty much contained it. It's been pretty mild. So why can't these people go do their traditions? Obviously, it's working for them. So why is it bad? Now it's bad because you got a vaccine I want you to take?
Oh, I think I figured it out. You want to know why it's bad? Because you can't make money off of it.
See, I think it's bigger than money.
I know
Money.
everything's about money.
See, this isn't about money, though. Like we talked about earlier, this is about
Big
those.
pharmacy is not about money.
It's bigger than that, man. This is about that small group of people that's trying to depopulate the world. It's not about money. They already got all the money. We and you, we don't have money. The green shit me and you got, that's not money. That's monopoly money. You got any real gold in your house? Like gold bars?
Oh no, I just have one
No?
gold item though.
Yeah, you got one gold item. That means you got enough to buy probably, a bottle of water.
Pack of hot dogs.
Yeah.
Bar S.
You got no real money. They when they bought us out of the Great Depression by selling us. All right, our government sold us. That's why you have a birth certificate with a fucking seal from, just like they do on the stock market, because you're just nothing more than a stock. All right, that's how they got out. That's why you can no longer pay anybody in gold. They made it illegal right after the Great Depression. When we got out of the Great Depression, they made it illegal for me to pay you in gold for anything. Because before that, if you came to my house and you came to fix something, I could pay you in gold just like I could pay you in cash. Now I can go sell my gold for money and I can go buy gold, but you can't pay me for doing something for you in gold. It's illegal. The only thing really worth value, they've made it illegal for you to trade. So it's not about money, man. They already got all the money. It's about depopulation. It's about trimming the fat.
Yeah, but yeah, yeah. I think big pharmaceuticals pay a huge part of that as well because
I
they work
think
together.
I
They work
think big
together with the FDA,
I think big pharma
and
and the FDA is just made to kill us.
the FBI looks the other way because they know that eventually you'll need to have something, and big pharma will provide it for you
Yo,
for whatever ails you.
you know how they got artificial sweetener finally approved by the FDA?
Saccharin, yeah.
Artificial sugar. So the guy that owned General Mills, because for years they had been trying to get the shit passed, right? And they couldn't get it passed because kept on killing all the fucking lab rats, giving them all fucking cancer and tumors and all this type of shit, kind of like humans nowadays. Funny. But the the guy that was one of the co-owners of General Mills, ended up becoming the founder, or the not the founder, but the leader of the FDA at the time. And he ran another trial. And since um, I think it was like 4 out of 6, 4 out of 10 rats survived, they passed it and let artificial sweetener be put in your cereals and in your soda and everything. Slowly poisoning people, giving you tumors, cancers, stomach ulcers, and then telling you the
Uh,
people that can heal you are
attacking
crazy.
your attacking your nervous systems
Yeah.
on a level. Yeah,
What if
I
what
don't know,
if
man.
what if fluoride is the thing that broke us off from our ancestors' ways? Right? Because I mean, like I've told you before, the Germans used fluoride to make the Jews docile. So when we took over Germany and finally conquered them and beat them in the war, we had all this fucking fluoride that we confiscated. Got to do something with it. Let's put it in our water. We'll clean our water out, and it's completely safe to consume. And we'll just slowly make everybody in the country docile. That's why the boomers, as people like to call them, are so hard-headed and so non-open-minded. Not all of them, but a lot of
Majority.
them. And I guarantee you the ones that aren't are the ones that grew up not drinking tap water, or they grew up out in rural counties where they had well water.
It's a bold assumption, but there could be credibility there.
Like, I mean, makes sense because you think about it, right? Who really runs the world right now? Me and our generation might want to feel like we do because we're at that age range. We're all either entering or exiting our prime. You know what I'm saying? And we would like to think we rule the world, but we don't. Look at our politics. It's these boomers, the people that have been made docile their whole lives because they've been fucking drinking mass quantities of fucking fluoride. So they automatically just go ahead and believe whatever they've been told.
Possibly.
That's why a lot of them don't see the game between Trump and Biden won, and how it didn't matter who won. Like they're still
Right. The
trying to
narrative is still the same.
impeach Biden. They're still trying to impeach Trump. Like they just swore in all the senators today for the trial. yesterday they all like 40, like a bunch of them try to hold them together, trying to hold out, saying, trying to, stop the process, saying that it's pointless to even go through with it because none of us are going to vote for it.
At
Like
the
it's all,
expense of us.
yeah, it's all just a game. Because you know what? After they do or don't impeach Trump, guess who they're going to go after next? Joe fucking Biden. If he doesn't get deemed, what's the word? Incompetent by Kamala first.
Yeah. I think that's the ultimate goal.
But right
Who
now
knows?
he's sure as hell coming in like he's saving the day.
It's all hypothetical right now.
It really in America it all depends on what's news source you listen to. One news source, Biden's the Antichrist, and the next one is the hero.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was the
Narrative.
same thing with Trump. One news channel he was a piece of shit, and another one he's the best man in the world, and then there's the third one that's like fuck all of them.
It's like they're telling this really big story for this whole, let's say, from 2010 to current day. There's this big huge story. It's the ultimate story, the ultimate crime, the ultimate drama, the ultimate suspense, the thriller. It's got everything you want in the perfect story. And would they start it? They're gonna start with uh well, no, it was in 2010. Let me go back. What year was Obama inaugurated? 2008.
I don't remember.
Well,
Well, let's
yeah,
go back 4 years.
2000,
Let's go
2008.
let's go back 4 years. That would make 2016, and then 4 years from that, 2012. So you're talking about the first time or the second time?
First time.
Yeah, it would be 2008.
It's a really compelling story, starting with the first African American president,
I think it starts way
and
before that.
then right. I'm talking about but the ones that they're going to put in the history books. You know, for 40 years from now,
Okay.
and they'll talk about what's the word they keep using that on the Capitol Hill, the the not eradication. What the fuck is the word? You know what I'm talking about?
Nope.
The incession? No, that's not it. They keep referring to this to the rot. They call them
Incursion.
the rot
Incursion.
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 Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That'll be the historic word for the day about the incursion.
So you know something I've been thinking of lately? Remember how they always say history is doomed to repeat itself, right? What if Trump's going to be president again? Kind of like Grover Cleveland was. Because Grover Cleveland, you know what I mean, he had a presidency, and then just like Trump went up, lost for re-election, and then 4 years later got reelected as president again for a second term. It's the only
Which is
president
why
to
they're
ever.
trying to impeach him.
Yep. So that he can't, because they know he's
Right.
going to. He's even talking about now. You know what? You don't want me to be in Republican or Democratic Party? I'll start my own party. We'll just do it that way then. You'll have to hear me now.
I mean,
If they can't ruin him financially first.
right. Who knows?
Hey, who? Maybe that's the
Who?
fulfillment. Maybe that's the fulfillment of a prophecy. Because pretty sure in Revelations it talks about how the rich will fall. Donald Trump's rich. What if he's the one that falls, becomes the poorest man in the world and owns nothing? Has to live as a penniless man on the sidewalk beggar. What if that's their ultimate overall goal for Trump? Strip him of everything. His wife will leave him. His kids disown him. Son's going to be in jail.
Right. The ultimate example of this is what happens when you fight back.
Yep. His daughter's going to come out about how he actually was, doing funny shit to her whole life because he's weird with his one daughter. Talking about how his daughter's sexy and hot. I'm sorry. Those words should never come out of your mouth about your daughter. Tell my daughter every day she's the most beautiful girl in the world, but I'm never going to sit there and tell her she's a sexy beast.
Right.
Like,
Hey,
that's,
man, I don't know. I don't know why people do what they do. I don't know why they say what they say.
that's why we got this, though, man. We just like to run crazy. This has been a weird episode. Not really
Yeah, we gotta.
for not for me and Pat, but for you guys. I feel like it might be weird, or it might be new. You might like it. You might think, "Hey, I like how they did this." They just, instead of sticking to a topic, they just like they had a normal conversation. Because that's what this was, people. Me and Pat. This is how our FaceTimes go.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think only once did we tell you like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, share to your friends. Because this is
Right.
a normal conversation. And we say that to each other now. If we think something's funny, we'll just be like, hey, remember hit that like and subscribe button.
Yeah. Never hurts to get the practice in. This really is. This is how we and Joe have been talking for years. And it's literally, it's not all about the same exact stuff that we've been talking about as of late, but basically just along the lines of life in general, and the fact that you should question everything, because not everything that you see is appears or not everything you see is what it appears to be.
And nothing said here is final thought, people. I just want that to be known. Like, this is just all free thought that is, and this goes for every podcast. Nothing I ever say or ever feel like I say was my belief is final thought. Like, I'm a thinker, man. I spend most of my day thinking about random shit. So I may, one day this is how I feel, but I might find out some shit tomorrow that disproves how I feel. So now I have to change that based off the evidence. Because I'm the type of person, show me the evidence.
Show me something.
Yeah, so
You can't just run off of what ifs.
no, you can't. But what ifs are fun. And sometimes you need them because they will lie to you. Like I've been watching a lot of The Viking. I think I said this earlier, but there's a lot of shit in that show, man, that shows you about history, man. Like they even knew back then that the Vatican was holding shit down in the fucking basement. Like, come on, man.
It's this is kind of it's I mean it's kind of relevant, but if you ever really want to learn something about some real good shit in a way that'll absorb, watch anything that George Carlin ever did and released on video.
Yeah, right.
That seriously, that man was a thinker. That man did his research. That man saw through the bullshit. He didn't have those blinders on. He saw through the bullshit, and he was able to tell you so with a smile on his face and waving his arms and being a comedian. And you all just saw it as comedy. You never took him for what he was actually telling you.
You know who's another one that's like that? Dick Gregory. don't know if you ever heard of him. Famous black comedian. But he was another one that was all about like he completely changed his life. Like he in his early days, he was severely overweight and all this shit, diabetes. So he went and found different dietary options, found fasting and all this other shit. And he was a big promoter for all that shit. But he used his comedy as a basis for telling the people his story and his views. Like look him up on YouTube, people. He's a great man to listen to. Dick Gregory. That man spits some fucking knowledge. And it's like some old shit that you would have heard from your ancestors. Cause you know
Right.
what I mean, he grew up in, you know, the Depression era and shit like that. So the people he was listening to were from the 1800s. The shit that we got to read about in the books, they lived it and they told him, and then he's telling us, and people are like, hey, this is crazy.
Mm.
Like, tell me how they knew way back then that the earth was heated from within the earth and not from the sun. Because think about it like this: if the sun works like a heat ray and these radioactive waves are heating earth, why is outer space so cold? Pretty sure if I was to sit in an oven, more than just the oven rack would be hot.
I don't know though, man. I think once you get, it's weird. I think it's just because of the way the Earth's axis is. Like it's like certain dark spots. Like, and I will definitely know that for sure that there's a core, and the core heats up the world from the inside out. I mean,
I
that's been
think
explained to us since I was a child.
I think the
But like,
core. I think the core is the sun of the of the colony of the inside of the earth.
but like living down south, like the
What if
closer you
we?
are to the equator, like it's hot down there. It's fucking hot,
Yeah, you're also closer
and
to the center of the earth.
you feel like you literally feel like the sun is sitting on top of your head.
But what if that's because you're closer to the center of the earth? You're closer to all the areas to where the earth is releasing that heat.
More geologically active, so to
Yeah,
speak.
or if you're gonna look at it as a big oven, you're closer to the coils.
Right. I just know anytime I lived in Florida, it was hot as fuck all the time, except in January.
What if the equator is nothing more than just our coil from within the earth that's being heated from within?
Right.
And the sun is nothing more than what the Bible says and is a light source.
A way of ultraviolet rays, a way to heal, because you can heal. There's a lot of healing powers in
Yeah,
standing in the sun.
yeah. And
There's a
that's
reason why it grows flowers.
no, another reason why vitamin D is one of the reasons you get one of the ways you get rid of the coronavirus. How do you get that again? From standing in what?
the
The
s-
sun.
the
The sun.
the big thing in the sky that comes out every now and then.
Yep, the sun. That don't take this racist, people, that your people are allergic to. Maybe you guys are from the center of the earth, or maybe you're from Mars. Who
I'm not
knows?
allergic to it. I love it. I love to be in the sun as much as possible,
Do you get sunburnt?
all the time.
Then you're allergic to it.
I still enjoy it though.
But you're allergic to
I
it.
enjoy its benefits. It makes me feel good. I feel healthy.
Yeah, yeah. I'm pretty sure you enjoyed your benefits of it too on Mars. They get sunlight too. Yeah, I said it.
Maybe I'm an Anunnaki.
Maybe. Because, hey, man, I'm mixed. And even when I get light during the summertime or the wintertime, I still don't get white. I kind of get like off yellowish.
I look like watered down Elmer's glue.
Because, like, it's weird, man. Because if I was to go, like, put my hand up to Erica right now, I'm still like 4 shades darker than her.
Right?
And I feel like I look like you when I look in the mirror. No offense, because you are kind of ugly.
Don't hate me because I'm beautiful, Joe. Just accept it.
I don't know if beautiful is the word. Like you kind of look like someone used you as a punching bag. Right here's kind of flat.
Hmm. Yeah. My nose has been broken 4 times.
Yep, yep. You definitely got horse face.
I definitely got some dents in my head.
Yeah. You look like you did this face a lot when you were younger, huh? Like you were always questioning something, like you're too stupid to realize what someone just said to you. Like, what the fuck? What'd you just say?
Do you feel better now? You
A
had to
little
lash
bit,
out a little bit.
a little bit, a little bit.
I'm glad you feel better about yourself because you're able to look down for just a second. But just remember, even on my worst day, I'll always be better looking than you.
And that is not a fact. People, you guys got to settle this debate in the comment section. Joe sexier. Just let him know. You don't even got to say sexier. He's just more attractive male.
I don't know, man. If you had blue eyes, you would understand the power that comes with it.
Oh, with being a Martian?
Yeah, absolutely.
Nah, I'm all right.
And I get to look at my daughter every day, and because I get to look at her, it's like a reflection, so it's looking back at me. So I'm reminded every day. It's a beautiful thing.
Here's a weird question for you. What do you feel when you look at the stars?
Bored
Really?
because they never change.
No, they change every night. You're just not paying attention. They move every night, my man.
No, the stars stay in the same spot. The Earth moves.
Same difference. The sky changes every night, man. But like
Well, I don't. I
besides
don't. I don't.
you just feel bored when you look at the sky. You don't feel nothing. You don't feel no like weird connection, like you feel
Oh,
like you're missing
I mean,
something.
you feel. I feel an absolute peace when I take the time and I'm outside in the night and I stare at the stars and I just relax. It's a whole different. It's you feel like as if you're reconnecting to the universe.
I feel as if we're all lost. Legitimately, I feel like we're just like a lost race of thing that kind of got stuck here. Maybe we were travelers. Maybe it was something like Star Trek. You know, maybe something like that's real. Like we're from a different galaxy or something like that, and we were all just kind of lost. Like that's legitimately what the Mayans believed is that that's what was going to happen on December 12th, 2012. It was that we were going to go back to our home planet, or we were. So maybe that's what happened. Maybe we transferred dimensions when they started that CERN thing. They opened a black hole. We transferred dimensions, and the Mayans went back to their home planet, as if they put it.
And the previous reality in time is trying to exist with the current reality, and there's a conflict in interest creating glitches everywhere.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
Or or Mandela effects, as you guys like to call them. You know, both places had fucking Fruit Loops, but one was never a fucking fruit, and the other one it was. So, oh, now we got to fucking make them into fruits again.
Right.
But Shazam was
Butterfly
never.
effect, though.
Sinbad never played a rapping genie. Just so you guys know, that was 100% Shaquille O'Neal, Kazam. Shazam. But now that that's said, they did make a superhero movie a couple years ago called Shazam. Maybe that's the cover up for the Sinbad movie. You look lost.
No, no, no. Sinbad totally played in a movie as a genie.
You can Google it, bro. And Sinbad himself has even said, I never played in a movie as a genie. He had a stand up skit one time where he had jeans that looked like genie pants, but he never played a movie as a rapping genie. That was completely Shaquille O'Neal. That was called
Yeah,
Kazam.
he was Kazam.
Yep. But
I
there's a
remember
conspiracy.
Kazam,
But
but
there's
I
a
also
cons-
remember another movie though. It was like a comedy movie where he was a genie.
Yep. Then you're one of those people in that loop of the conspiracy theory that 100% remember that movie. I don't remember seeing that movie.
Because I
Never
remember
remember it
because
existing.
when Shaq did that movie, it was a remake of Sinbad's movie.
According to Sinbad, he never made a movie like that. They called it Shazam. That's just like, you ever heard the conspiracy about why Disney made the movie Frozen?
There's a few conspiracies out there. Yeah.
But the one main one is because before the movie came out, if you were to Google Walt Disney Frozen, everything that would pop up would be about how Walt Disney's head is frozen in the basement of Disney, being cryogenically waiting for him to bring his body back. And now, when you Google Walt Disney Frozen, all you get is a fucking a snowman named Olaf and the Frozen chick.
Okay. So just as a quick reference, while we are talking about it, I looked up Sinbad on YouTube because we're on YouTube, and it says the legend and the mystery is solved. They found the movie Sinbad and Shazam. It says the Sinbad and Shazam genie movie. He admits the 1990s film is real. This was from 3 years ago.
Yeah, that's fake.
I don't know. Is it though? Is it all fake or is it all real?
So how? So he both thinks that he did and didn't play in this movie at the simultaneously at the same time. So
He
now,
probably just went along just to party.
so now we're going to go under the assumption that there are two Simbads walking around simultaneously, and both have recollections of different dimensions.
Lizard people.
Or we just crossed in parallel dimensions, and the concept of a doppelganger is a real thing, and if you find your own doppelganger, you fucking glitch out the system.
Dude, there's no doubt that doppelgangers are the same. Or exist for sure. Yo, you know how many times in my life I've been somewhere and somebody swore I was somebody else?
Yep,
They
happens
even
to me
came
all
up,
the
they
time.
they they tried to give me a handshake, what's up, man? And chilling. Oh shit, you're not Brian. No, sir, I am not Brian. I didn't think I looked like quite like a Brian, but okay.
Right.
Sorry, I thought you were somebody else. I had a lady one time swore up and down I was her grandson. Swore up and down. And this lady wasn't like a really, really old grandma. I would say she was probably early 70s. She was completely coherent and she swore up and down I was her grandson. I sat down at the table with her and everything. And I'm like, ma'am, I appreciate that you want to get me a cup of coffee and everything, but I'm just, it's just, what are you talking about? Why are you calling me ma'am? I'm like, I don't know. I don't know if I'm who you think you are. My name is Patrick. And she thought I was her grandson, Steven. Says he looks like you, he sounds like you, he's as big as you are, he walks like you. I thought it was you. And I'm like,
uh,
well, my name's not Steven. And I pulled out my license and I showed her, my name's Pat. She says, that is crazy. And so she took a picture of me and then she brought up a picture of her grandson on Facebook. And yeah, man. You could say you would almost say not identical, but I could see where she could be confused, especially in a public setting, for sure. Yep, it's weird. Yo, when I was down in Florida, I was working at this catfish restaurant, and there was a doppelganger of people. Yo, there was a mom, a son, and a daughter, and a grandchild, and they all had the exact same face.
I think that's just genetics, man.
No, I'm telling you the exact same face, dude. Okay, so good looking girl, right?
Right.
Throw a beard on her. That's the dude. you know, and the girl is just the younger girl is just the younger version of her mom, what her mom looked like 25 years ago. And the grandkid, they all have the exact same face, the blue-eyed, blonde hair, doppelganger, same body type. It's freaky, man.
So if you're my doppelganger and you see this, we got to meet up, bro. Just saying. It only makes sense, right?
I remember. I wish I could remember what the dude's name was. His last name, the Steven guy. I'd pull it up, post it. I would.
You know what's a fun experiment for most people? Googling yourself. But it's a little
Yeah.
depressing for me because Joe Wynn is actually a very common name. And seeing how is it's not actually my first name, and Googling myself becomes even much harder. I normally don't find myself on Google.
The last time I Googled myself, it immediately pulled up my Facebook profile.
Yep, doesn't even pull up my Facebook profile when I do it.
I'm like, well, shit. There you go. Thanks, Facebook. Thanks for selling us.
Yeah, right.
Thanks, Big Tech. Thanks, Decepticons.
Fucking Decepticons. So, Pat, you feeling safe?
Yeah, I'm feeling pretty safe.
Me too.
Feeling pretty cold.
So, before we go out, I just want to say one last time, fuck Tom Brady.
Fuck him. Right in his number 12 ass.
Love y'all. Peace out.
Be good. Be good to each other. Love y'all.